Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. I am Toyosi Etim Efyong, and it's amazing how many times SMEs and founders of startups have so much support, but when it comes to the woman in the 9-to-5 business, she doesn't really get that much support. Joining me today is Glory Edozien. She is passionate about the 9-to-5 chick, even forming a community of 9-to-5 chicks where she shows them support and gives them tips on how to improve their careers. Welcome to the morning show, Glory.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Excited to have you. So where did this passion for 9-to-5 women come from? Because a lot of people pay attention to the female entrepreneurs. So we have like women in business, we have conferences, we have grants for women who have their small businesses, but nobody really pays attention to the 9-to-5 woman. So where did this passion for the 9-to-5 woman come from?
Well, for the last 13 years, I was also a career woman. So my background was actually sort of in climate change and environmental policy. So I was working as a career woman. And then when I started transitioning into entrepreneurship, I just noticed this gap. Like there was so, like you say, there was so much support, and rightly so for female entrepreneurs. But there was just not enough support for career women. I mean, if as a woman, if you want to improve your career, if you want to expand your skill sets, where do you go? You know, there are a lot of things. There are people that, I'm not saying that there are not communities that are catering to career women, but it's not enough. And when we see the statistics that only 5% of women actually rise to the very top of sort of CEO executive level, you realize that it's a problem that needs to be fixed.
Right, but why just women though? I mean, I think it's a general thing. The men as well in 9-to-5s need support as well. So why women?
Well, gender parity is a big issue. So if we look at statistics in Nigeria, men actually get paid more than women. If you look at how women and men are entering the workforce, women and men are entering the workforce at the same rate, but then something happens somewhere in their careers and only men are advancing. And women are only taking on specific types of roles, which limit their career advancement as well. So it's not that there's any sort of discrimination. We just realize that, you know, we need to do more for women if we are going to ensure that women have the same level of economic access and economic empowerment to succeed.
Yes, but people will always blame that on the woman living to have her baby, you know, and they're not contributing to the company's bottom line. So it's almost like, why should I promote somebody who is not around for 4 or 5 months, as opposed to somebody who is there consistent, constant, you know what I mean? So is there any truth in that?
So, I mean, really, when women leave for maternity leave, there is a business issue, like, because you're losing resource. So even as an entrepreneur, you can't, you know, the money available to be paying someone when they are not in the office, it's a real issue. But we also have to understand that women biologically are the only one that can carry babies. So it's not our fault, per se. Do you understand?
I mean, it's seen as a fault.
Exactly. So, and I mean, I was talking to a woman recently, and she was saying she went on maternity leave, and when she came back, she had missed 2 promotion cycles, and she was starting, it felt like she was starting all over again.
Oh, wow.
And she said to me, "But Gloria, I didn't die. You know, I just went to have a baby." So we see that there needs to be better workplace policies that cater specifically to these issues.
Right.
And so that women are not punished for something that is naturally occurring.
Yeah. And now you focus on making women more visible at work. Are you saying women are not visible enough at work?
So I'm saying that if women want to excel in their careers, they need to become more visible. And there are certain things, as a woman, if we look at the statistics and even if we look at the research about how men approach workplace politics, about how they network in the workplace, about how they are just aggressive about promoting themselves, women, we are more sort of laid back. We feel ashamed about, oh, how can I promote myself? I don't want to, you know, my work will speak for me. And I tell women all the time, yes, do excellent work, but the only person that has a mouth is you. The only person that is going to be able to talk about what you do is you. Right. So it's teaching women how to become visible in the workplace, how to promote themselves so that they can advance their career, get the recognition they deserve, and obviously earn some more money as well.
But I don't know, why do you think women, and I don't know that it's all women, to be honest. A lot of women will stand and blow their trumpet, they will make their way to the boardroom, like, I have to be at this meeting, and then I have to talk, all of that. But we see, like you said, a majority of women just being like, I want my work to speak for itself, and I don't have to blow. Where did this psyche and this mentality come from? Have you been able to trace that?
So, I mean, there's a lot of research out there, like I said, again, about the statistics, but also because of our patriarchal systems, which really place women sort of as home carers. So a lot of, and especially when you now have career women who want to be ambitious, but also find themselves wanting to take care of family. So it's kind of like they have to make that decision. And obviously, sometimes the maternal instincts kick in. But like you rightly said, I don't want to generalize. Not every woman is like that. But when you look at the statistics, you see, so it's kind of like a double-edged sword. On one hand, there are workplace policies that are not promoting the advancement of women as much as could be done. On the other hand, there's also women themselves that are not taking advantage of opportunity, that are not using the opportunities or even being able to spot the opportunities that are there for themselves.
And that is what 9-to-5 Chick is here to do.
Exactly.
So what are the things? Are they like trainings that you give these career women? What are some things you tell them?
So we've done a few things. So far, we've been doing a lot of trainings, a lot of seminars and master classes. But this year, what we want to do is move to programs. So actually helping women to create CVs, teaching them how to network in the workplace, teaching them about personal branding, so they can start to track and see results. And so one of the things we're going to be doing this year is pop-up career assessment centers, where you come with your CV, we look at it for you, we do mock interviews, we teach you how to create a LinkedIn profile that will get you noticed by the right employer, those kind of things.
Now, there's some... Do you find that career women are leaving their jobs to actually now start their own businesses? Because there's this thing of everybody now, I'm doing my own thing, I have my business, you know. Do you, first of all, do you feel like there's some pressure on a woman who is in a bank, you know, to leave and follow her dreams, chase her dreams? Do you see that pressure?
Yes. I mean, one of the things I always said when I started was, it's okay to have a 9-to-5. It's almost like it's no more sexy now to have, like you ask someone, where do you work? And they say, oh, I work for a bank. And you're like,
Why?
So,
it's almost like why?
Like you're not fulfilling purpose if you're in a
Yes.
career. And, you know, so I always tell women, it's okay to have your own career, but you can be an entrepreneur in your own career. So own your own career decisions and your own career progress, as opposed to living it for your employer. But also something that is super important is women having economic access and financial wealth and, you know, being able to increase their own net worth. And so you need to have options. You need to create multiple streams of income. And you can do that by having a side business as well as a career. So you don't necessarily have to. The idea here is that a woman can be anything she decides. Right? So she can decide, I want to be a career woman and I'm focusing on my career. I want to be a career woman, I want to have a side business. Or I want to be an entrepreneur. There's more than one way to be a woman. There's more than one way to be a successful woman.
Well, you used to be a 9-to-5
Yes,
chick.
exactly.
You were an environmental specialist.
Yes.
And then you left to become an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Why did you make that move? And then why do you feel you can speak to the 9-to-5 chick?
That's a very interesting question. So I made that move because I felt like I wanted to do more with my life. So I had gone to school, I had gotten all the great degrees, I had an amazing job, but
You have a PhD, by the way.
Yes, I do. And so, I mean, all of that is still very relevant in what I do. So I wanted more for myself and I wanted more for my life. So I haven't exactly abandoned the environmental management side of my career. I still do consultancy. I'm also hoping to lecture in the future. So it's this idea of, you know, I can do multiple things as a woman.
Ooh, okay, so let's talk about you and the vice president.
Okay.
You took a picture with the, well, yeah, when you put it like that, but yes, you took a picture with the vice president at Workstation.
Yes.
I mean, what did that visit do for you as an entrepreneur?
Well, I think it just validated the ecosystem of startups that we have in Nigeria, that the vice president took out time from his busy schedule to come and work and, you know, talk to people in this sort of startup ecosystem. So for me, it was great to see him. It was great to hear some of the things, the other people he had visited, and just to get that encouragement that, wow, you know, the vice president, I mean, I sent the picture to my dad. I'm like, Daddy, the VP was here. You know, so yeah, so I mean, for me, it was an exciting day. It was an exciting day.
Right, okay. And you also talk a lot about networking. I see on your social media how you encourage women to network. You're like, don't stay at the back of the room, talk to people, all of that. How important really is networking?
So networking is super important. If you look at what actually makes a career leader these days, it's no more about your CV. It's no more about your competency. Because when you get to a certain level in your career, everyone in the room is competent. Everyone has the same qualification as you. What leaders are actually looking for is loyalty. And the only way you can demonstrate loyalty to a company, to an establishment, is through building personal contacts. Right. And so for me, that's why I teach women. Guys do it all the time. They go to the boys' club, they go play golf, they have drinks after work. But women, again, because of the way our society is structured, You leave work, you go home. You leave work, you go home. You're at work, you're at the back of your computer. Nobody knows what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, so you have to, and when you now want to change jobs, you now realize, I mean, I meet a lot of women that have changed jobs not from seeing an a career advertisement or anything, but somebody actually poaching them, and that's because they had a personal contact. So now there's actually a hidden job market where employers are preferring to hire people from referrals than, because, you know, there's so, when you just try it now, put up a job advert online, you can get 1,000 CVs for one placement. People don't have the time to look through all of that. But if you know someone that knows someone and say, oh, try this person, I worked with her. Now that is golden. Because you would take time to look at that CV and do all of that. So that's why I always teach women about networking. And networking not in the shady sense of just going around and collecting business cards. That's so old school. It's about building genuine relationships and genuine connections with people.
Right. And you also talk about networking the right way and not sending off funny signals, you know, not being as if you're hitting on the other person. Have you had any terrible experiences? Has anybody come with terrible experiences?
So I think sometimes when you're networking with the opposite sex, you have to be very careful because there can be a very thin line. So this is what I always tell women. When you're networking, let your purpose be clear. If you're going to approach a man to become your mentor, for example, don't just go there and say, oh, you inspire me, blah, blah, blah. Be very precise. Oh, I've seen that in the last 3 years, you've led on, you know, X million amount of projects and everything, and that's something I want to do for my career, and I'd like to learn how you're doing that. Let the line be drawn in the sand. Be very intentional. Also, I see it a lot of times, women go for meetings, and they don't even know what their ask is. They don't know that, okay, I want to build this relationship with this person, but why? They just think it's a good idea. So for me, when I'm teaching about networking, I teach people how to be intentional, how to build relationships based on your career goals. Because you're not just building relationships just for the sake of building relationships. You're building relationships for a reason, and that intention should always be at the forefront of your mind.
But I hear people saying you never know when you need this person.
Yes.
Like just meet this person, just talk to this person. You never know. Is that a mindset people should have when going into meetings or when going to events when they're trying to network?
Of course. So with networking, it's about building the bridge before you need it. So it's about
building the bridge
before you need it. So you don't start networking. If you're networking when you need a job, what you need is job hunting. It's not networking. Do you understand? That bridge has kind of passed, you know? So it's about building, like I said, building genuine connections, going to conferences, going for events, meeting people, but meeting people in a strategic manner. So you want to advance your career in the power sector. Where do the movers and shakers of the power sector meet? What associations are they part of? What meetings do they go for? What journals do they read? Where do they meet online? It's about putting yourself in these places.
Right.
That's what.
So this thing of women not supporting women, women not being able to work together. Now you work with a lot of women. Is this a myth or is there some truth in this?
So for me personally, I think that whatever you put out there, whatever mindset you have is whatever you're going to experience. So for me, I always tell people I'm a testimony of a long line of women who have supported me.
Right.
The fact that I'm here on this chair, able to speak eloquently, talk about my business, is because a lot of women some who knew me from the past, some who just met me on that day, have helped me. So I personally don't buy into that myth that women don't support each other. What I do say is that women should learn how to support each other more. And women should learn how to be more open. So if I need something, Toyosi, I can come to you and say, oh, I'm having this challenge, blah, 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 blah. And then you can help me. But I think many times there's a culture of secrecy amongst women, which makes it difficult for us to help each other.
And even competition. It's
exactly.
Okay, so we want to learn how to network properly here.
Okay.
What are some networking icebreakers? So I walk into a room, I don't know anybody. I mean, I know their faces because I've probably seen them in newspapers, on TV, and I don't know what to say to them. What are some of the things I can say to start a conversation without being awkward?
Okay, so let me give you an example. Recently, I went for an event and I got there late and I sat beside, I just found the next empty chair and I sat beside and I just turned to the person, oh, what's the event been like so far? And he was like, oh, it's been really interesting and everything. I was like, oh, which speaker, you know, made the most, you know, impact on you? And he said so and so, you know, things like that. Or I ask people things like, I always try and ask people things that don't require yes or no answers, because otherwise the conversation is short, it's closed. So, so things like, oh, what do you enjoy about your job? Or someone says, oh, I'm in risk assessment. Oh, what does that mean? You know, so I think the fundamental tip there is be interested in people.
Right.
When you go in, just be interested in knowing people, be interested in knowing what they do, what makes them tick, what they enjoy. The more you develop a capacity to be interested in people, the easier it is to form a relationship and a bond.
Right. So is there ever going to be a 9-to-5 men, maybe? Or we're just focusing on the women?
Oh,
I mean, you've said it's just women for now, but do you see it scaling? Do you see it growing? And how big do you see it getting?
Well, when we do our corporate trainings, because I am also a corporate trainer, we do train men as well. So there's that aspect where we do. But in terms of 9-to-5 chick, it's going to be 9-to-5 chick for the foreseeable future. But never say never.
Never say never. It's been amazing talking to you, Glory.
Thank you.
One last question. Do you encourage women to do their business by the side while they retain their jobs? And is there the possibility of that business growing well enough, or do they eventually have to leave that job to focus on one thing?
So like I said, there's more than one way to be a woman or an entrepreneur or a career person. So it really depends on your circumstances. For me, I left my 9-to-5 to concentrate on entrepreneurship while I still consult once in a while on my 9-to-5, normal 9-to-5 topic and career. So it really depends. So I don't think there's one way to do this thing, but it depends on what you want. Some people sort of straddle both because really they want to become an entrepreneur, but they don't have the risk appetite yet. So straddle both until you're comfortable.
Right.
Yeah.
Straddle both until you're comfortable. How can people reach you on social media?
Well, our Instagram handle is at 9-to-5chick or at Inspired by Glory.
Okay, so. Well, you'll still be here with us because we have a very interesting topic for our take. But we are going on a short break now. Stay tuned.